assurance. So we are going to be receiving my brother in the stead of the Honorable Commissioner, the person of Dr. Barry Wonder is in the room. I may not get to reel out his profile, but this is somebody that has amazingly, these are people who understand how it has been from day one, right? How it has been growing up from a place like Warri, right? And then reaching the globe. Right now, it's consulting for universities, for institutions across the world. Amazing man. Outside the boss conference, audience, participants, team, everybody can receive my friend and brother, Mr. Dr. Barry Wonder, as he comes on stage.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Just to confirm, can you kindly confirm you can hear me? You can drop a comment on the chat
Loud and
box.
clear, loud and clear.
Fantastic. I'm excited to be here and we're going to have an amazing time. Firstly, I want to express my profound gratitude to the Honorable Commissioner for the honor and the opportunity to be here. When the profile was being read and being played out, I realized it's actually a big shoe to fit into. Well, I'm to them that the grace of God is sufficient for us. And I also want to say a very big thank you to my brother, my friend, who just finished speaking, David Aquara. Always a great pleasure and honor hearing from him. And I also want to especially appreciate the organizers. Thank you so much, Jeff, for the great work you're doing. David mentioned something about from excellence to excellence, and that's been the trajectory you've been treading on. It's from one glory to another, just observing you, and it's so inspiring seeing the great work you're doing. And I also want to thank your amazing team for working with you to actually make this happen. The dream work. Teamwork is what makes the dream work, and it's beautiful seeing young people come together to put this together to add value. Okay, so I have 30 minutes, and in the next 30 minutes, hopefully and certainly you're going to get great value that is going to add going to make an amazing impact in your life. So firstly, I'll take the part David took. I'll share a personal story, and then I'll share my slides. All right, so I was done with primary school, and after primary school I was supposed to further to secondary, right? But after primary six, my dad was duped by 419, so that's why probably fraud is always something I won't want to think about. So my dad was duped by um, fraudsters, and that made the family to encounter some very, very difficult times. So I literally couldn't go to school for junior secondary. What what I planned doing was, I think someone is speaking on the background. Okay, thank you. All right. So what I intend to do, or what I did, realizing daddy didn't have money to take me to school, I started wearing mascots. I started wearing bunny, so I could save enough money to take myself to school. So I did that for a couple of months, about a year thereabouts, 3 months thereabouts. Then I, was able to save some amount of money. And the only school I could attend as a young guy with the money I had is a school called Oborikoko School. So when David was mentioning Kolo Kolo, probably if you're outside Nigeria, you may not the name may stand strange, right? Because when you go to places like maybe the UK, you hear of places like Queen's Road, King's Palace, those beautiful names. Or you come to somewhere like Delta, maybe Warrior in Nigeria, right? You hear names like Kolo Kolo, and then you're surprised. So I went to a school called Oborikoko Secondary School. So I had a preconceived notion before going there, right? The notion I had was, if you're in a public school, you're not supposed to be intelligent, So what I was doing as a student, every time we have a test, what I will do, I will steal notes from those who are very intelligent. They usually like sitting at the front, and they'll wear glasses, right? So I'll steal their notes. And the purpose of stealing their notes wasn't to maybe read them, was to have the material produced to do expo. Well, I tell people there's a way you are probably not smart, but despite the fact that you have expo available, like you can do malpractice, you're still not going to pass, or you're still not going to make progress. So I did that for a couple of terms, and no progress was made. This particular day, after receiving my results, my dad said he was going to look into my results. So I realized I had to do something fast. So I changed the scores I got. So maybe I scored 17. First test theory, second test 10, third test maybe just 15. So less than 40. So I changed all the scores to give myself an A, but I didn't remember to change it very well. So my dad realized his son has joined bad gang, and his son is now into forgery of results. So he literally just gave up on me. I've already given up on myself like since, right? So that didn't make much difference. But I lost my uncle, like my closest uncle. And what I experienced did for me was it made me realize that life can be very, 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 very short. So I realized life could be very, very short, and I needed to take my life much more seriously. So I was still wearing Bunny mascots, and I'll be paid like 500, I'll be paid like 300, you know. This time around, I wasn't buying shirts to put on. I wasn't buying gadgets, nothing. I just said I was going to start buying books to read. Lo and behold, I started reading sometimes 20 minutes every day. David spoke about the importance of books, right? Sometimes 20 minutes every day, sometimes 30 minutes. And I did that for a period of time. Results came out in the new school I was moved into. I graduated with one of the best results. I was the second top student in my class. I did a program in law. We had over 200 students in that program. I graduated with close to a first class, right? Today I've written 3 books. Like Jeffrey mentioned, I now consult for multinationals. I speak sometimes for a day as a resource person, and I'm paid in 6 digits, right? And those transformations, just recently, I'm thinking about making a giving, a figure I've never given before. And then I'm thinking how I was able to transition from being an individual who was dull initially to now become someone that is a resource person, that people will be willing to invest their resources just to hear and just to listen to. And I got to realize that one of the significant impacts, right, that has happened to me is being able to have a vision, right? So today we're going to look at a subject very beautiful and very inspiring. I'm trying to share my screen now. Just give me a minute. We're going to look at a subject that I believe is going to add so much value to us. And the topic is embracing your authenticity and unique potential for growth, right? Embracing your authenticity and unique potential for growth. Embracing your authenticity and unique potential. Comments on the chat box. Just tell me your name. I would love to maybe get some of our names. Tell me your names in maybe 30 seconds. Just drop your name quickly on the chat box. I would love to get to know some of us by names, those of us joining the session live. Let's do that in the next few seconds while I'm trying to share my screen. Okay, so I'm seeing the comments. All right, thank you. Kara said teamwork is what makes the team work. Yeah, thank you so much. So I want to yes our names just in maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Kindly drop your name. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me so I'm sure. All right, thank you,
Yes,
Lillian.
we
I
can
can
hear
see
you,
you,
sir.
Lillian. Thank you. Thank you, Imudia. Thank you, Newton. I can see you. All right, thank you. All right. So I said I'll be sharing on embracing your authenticity and unique potential for growth, right? So I'm going to start by a quote by Brain Brown, and she said something so beautiful. She said, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are. I'll say that again. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are, right? One of the big challenges I've got to realize among individuals is sometimes we have this preconceived idea of who we think we are supposed to be, right? What we are supposed to be doing, where we are supposed to be. And every time we think about where we are supposed to be, what we are supposed to be doing, who we are supposed to be, what it does for us is it literally exempts us from living in the now. And life is happening in the now. Life is not programmed to happen later. Life is not programmed to happen yesterday. Life is happening right now. Life is happening in the now. What can you do today, right? There are sometimes I maybe face a challenge, or maybe I face a difficult situation. One of the things I tell myself is, whatever has happened, right? Or whatever I foresee is going to happen, it may happen, but I have this present with me now. What am I going to do with it? I choose to be happy with it. I choose to be contented with it. I choose to be fulfilled, living in the present, right? So authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are, right? So from today's session, we're going to be getting to know what it means to be authentic. You're going to know how to identify your unique potential, and also you're going to see how we can merge two concepts together, and you can use it to actually fuel your growth personally and in your professional life. All right, that's our objective for today. We want to see how we can maximize our uniqueness, how we can maximize our selfness, our person, who we truly are, and use that to be a blessing to our world, right? So I would love us to reflect for maybe the next 3 5 seconds, right? Write down one aspect of your life you often hide or suppress because you feel it doesn't fit with societal expectation. What is that one aspect of your life that sometimes you just put it back, sometimes you just hide it because you think it doesn't fit in with societal expectation, right? And then I also want you to think about how, if you embrace this part of you, it can actually help you grow or bring you a unique advantage to your personal or professional life. Let's think about it. What's that one aspect of your life that most times you just suppress it or you just hide it? Low key, low key, low key. You don't want people to really know about it, right? Now, think about how that aspect of your life can now serve as a unique advantage to you in your personal and your professional life. So for me, before I used to maybe hide my faith, right? Because most times I'm in corporate environments, talking to CEOs of organization, talking to management team, leadership team. So sometimes I maybe want to suppress my faith. I maybe want to hide my faith. But you know what I got to realize? My faith is actually my advantage. Do you understand? Because I'm a person of faith, I can do business with integrity. Because I'm a person of faith, I'm not going to be selfish. Because I'm a person of faith, I can have the best interest of the next person at heart because I'm a person of faith, right? So you have to look at your uniqueness. You have to look at that potential you have. You have to look at that ability you have that most often probably you want to suppress. Most often you want to take it to the backstage because you feel it doesn't fit with societal expectation. But that could just be your unique selling point. That could be your unique selling proposition, right? Recently, I was watching a video. I saw a video on YouTube by Kennedy AKZA or something, right? The founder of Keeper Hub for businesses. And I saw this amazing conference he put together talking about business. He was expressing his faith. And then he made a comment some time ago that I read that before now, he usually hides his faith because he's in a tech-driven environment, because he's in the fintech space. So sometimes you want to suppress his faith. But every time you suppress what is integral in you, you're not being the person that you are. I'll say that again. Every time you suppress or you hide what is integral, what is core in you, you are not being the true person you are. And who the world wants to see, the world doesn't want to see a fabricated version of you. The world is not interested in a copy version of you. The world wants to see your true self. Someone said something that we are in a world that is trying to make everybody be like somebody else. Said, so if you are able to stand your ground to be who you truly are, said you've made a lasting impact already. So who are you at your core? What are your abilities? What are your unique potentials? What are your unique giftings? We're gathered here today now at this Thinking Outside the Box conference put together by Jeffrey. What if he didn't put this together? What if he's trying to maybe copy somebody else, trying to do something like somebody else? It was never going to work, right? So recently we launched a platform for MSME, a tech-driven business, right? Um, Going into real estate, doing some stuff in real estate, thinking about doing some stuff already in agriculture and all these different aspects. But everything that has drawn out of me today came out of focusing on my core. Came out of focusing on my core. So years back, I had this very difficult and challenging time where literally my life seemed like it wasn't going in the direction I knew it was supposed to go. It was tough. I was literally going off course. Then I had this encounter with God and it changed my life forever. He gave me a vision. Said I was going to teach and train people all around the world and teach them how to be successful. That became the building block for my life. So when I train or when I teach or when I'm speaking, it's people think maybe it's I never knew someone can even become famous speaking or training or coaching. I never knew anything like that. I never knew someone can be rich doing that. I never knew until I met my mentor that stays in a duplex. His wife has a car. He has a car taking care of his children. They're in the best schools, and he's just a speaker. That was when I probably knew. And then I started developing myself further in this my unique ability. So what's that unique ability that you have? You don't have to suppress it. You have to grow it, right? Someone very, very important that comes to my mind when talking about this is Dr. Cosmos Maduka, right? And Dr. Cosmos said something so beautiful. He said, trying to be like others only insult yourself. You are who God says you are, and no one can duplicate that. He said, be yourself. So Dr. Cosmos Maduka is the CEO of Coscaris Motors, right? The first indigenous company that became like the sole distributors of luxury cars in Nigeria. And if you know him or if you follow him, one of the things that you realize about Dr. Cosmos Maduka is how he's very, 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 expressive about his faith. So Forbes magazine did an interview with him, and they titled the front cover "The Man Who Turned $1 into $500 million." But guess what? In the front cover of the jacket he was putting on, he had like a pin he usually wears in his jacket that says Jesus is Lord. Do you understand? So, with all respect to the different faiths and code that we have, right? We can be expressive about who we are without any form of shame, without any form of. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because most times we want to say some things and then we hold it back. We want to express some things and then we hold it back. This should be the litmus test that you use in living your life, the litmus test in taking action, the litmus test in your behavior. If it's good for God and if it's good for man, give it a shot. I'll say that again. If it's good for God and if it's good for man, you give it a shot. If it's good for God, it's good for man, you give it a shot. You go ahead with it. That should be the litmus test that you use in living your life. So you think first of all, my actions, my decisions, my choices, the projections I have in my mind, is it good for God? You tick that. Beautiful. You go ahead. You think also, is it good for man? You go ahead and then you get it done. All right. Beautiful. So if we're talking about our uniqueness and our authenticity, one of the ways we can actually realize how true this phenomenon is simply our eye lenses. How many of you are aware that we all probably know about our fingerprints, that no individual have the same fingerprints, right? All around the world. Even those who are Siamese twins joined together, their fingerprints are different. In the same way, your eye lens as well, totally different. Totally different. That's why we have some phones that are face recognition, and we have some security guides that probably you have to put in your face and then it reads your lens and then gives you access. Why? Because our eye lenses are distinct, our fingerprints are distinct. So from creation already, we can see that each and every one of us, we have this unique potential, this unique makeup, this unique togetherness that has been embedded in us for us to live and for us to do life. The next question now will now be, have you realized or have you discovered what is unique about you? Are you expressing your uniqueness? I was in Lagos with my friend Noel. You know, we're both friends with David, and we saw David. And then I jokingly told David something. I said, David is the only photographer or videographer you will barely see with a camera. And he was laughing, right? That's his uniqueness. So he focuses more on his creativity, focuses more on his storytelling. He calls himself a storyteller. There are other photographers, other videographers who are into events. We thank God for them. But David has differentiated himself. He wants to share the African story with his skill in photography and videography. What is unique about you? What is unique about you? In business development, we call it your unique selling proposition. What is unique about what you're doing? What makes it different? What makes my own teaching different and what makes it unique? I will never teach anything that I don't believe is truth. Meaning, I will never teach anything that I don't believe is truth. Anything that does not have a solid foundation based on truth, I won't teach it. Right? So, what is unique about you? What's different about you? Because we are all unique. Howard Gardner wrote a book called The Theory of Multiple Intelligence, Frames of the Mind, the Theory of Multiple Intelligence. And the theory of multiple intelligence, he identified some different kind of intelligence, right? There's musical intelligence, there's body kinesthetic, those who are body smart, there's interpersonal. Some people are people smart. They know how to build relationships, right? In behavioral scientists, sometimes they call them the sanguine. They are very good in building relationships. You just take them to a new city, just give them maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Probably some of them are on the chat box right now. If you're like that, maybe you can drop a comment. You take them there, they know how to socialize, they know how to make friends, right? Some people are people smart. Some people are word smart. They are word smart. They are bookish. They love reading. They love studying. They love researching, right? Some people are logic smart. Have you watched the Carver mathematics competition? And then you see some people, they just put many figures, many formulas, different line, and all of a sudden, the person just tell you, before even mentioning the different options, the person just tell you the answer is B, and then you're surprised. Some people are logic smart. Some people are nature smart. Nature smart. Some people are self smart. They have good intrapersonal relationship skills. Good intrapersonal relationship skills. Some people are visual spatial. They are picture smart. I believe David Aquara falls into that category. Picture smart. They know how the picture should look like. They know how the visual expression should look like to enable it to connect. So, what is unique about you? I thank you, Jerry, for putting out there. What is unique about you? What's your unique potential? What have you realized about yourself? What have you realized about yourself? Imagine the Honorable Commissioner had an emergency today, and then she could think of me to stand in for her today. This barely maybe 24 hours. Why? This is me. Do you understand? You wake me up 2 a.m., you wake me up 1 a.m., you wake me up maybe 4 a.m. I believe I'll be able to deliver on this by God's grace. All right. So, which area is unique about you, and what is unique about you? So, I want us to engage on the chat box maybe in the next 3 minutes. What do you think is one of man's greatest challenge? What do you think is one of man's greatest challenge? So, this is leading us into another area. What do you think is one of man's greatest challenge? Just drop your comments on the chat box. What do you think is man's greatest challenge? One of the greatest challenge of man. All your ideas are welcome. All your opinions are welcome. I want to hear from you. What do you think is man's greatest challenge? What's man's greatest challenge? Foundational challenge of man. What is that? Is he poverty? Is he in Nigeria they talk about security? Is it bad governance? Is it uh, just drop your ideas.
So, guys, Miss Dr. Barry is having network disturbances. It's going to come back up in a bit. Keep the response coming. The question is, what is man's greatest challenge? What do you think is man's greatest challenge? We're having very interesting answers here. Yes, somebody said a limiting mindset. That's divine. A limiting mindset. Madonna said finding one's identity. Jane said man's greatest challenge is man's environment. So your environment can be a challenge. Interesting. Ignorance or lack of information. Keep your comments coming in, right? Like Dr. Barry said, every opinion counts. We want to hear from you. What is man's greatest challenge? You need to know the challenge and then know how to tackle it, right? Other people's opinion, favor, bully. Okoyo Lilian said ignorance or lack of information. Interesting. Rainy Baby One, what's a name? Says doubt of what they can do. I have self doubt. Self doubt can be your greatest challenge. Mm. Send in your comments while we wait for Dr. Barry to come back up.
All right. Thank you so much. So sorry about that network interruption. So the next edition will maybe just focus on using Starlink, or have some prayers warrior attending to the network. Well, thank you all so much for the amazing comments. Thank you, Rennie Baby One. That of what they can do, fantastic. Thank you, Favor Igebule. Other people's opinion, beautiful. Thank you, Favor. Lillian said, ignorance, lack of information, fantastic. Jane Anthony is environment. Divine said, a limited mindset, fantastic. Mandona Tambruno said, finding one's identity. Wow. All amazing, amazing insights into what man's greatest challenge could be. But I'm a person of faith, right? So I'm going to share a story. God created man in his image and likeness. And after creating man in his image and likeness, most of us probably are familiar with this story. After creating man in his image and likeness, then the deceiver came and then told one of God's creature, Eve, that if she eats from an apple, she's going to be in God's image and likeness. She's going to be like God. But the question very important to ask is, was she not already like God? The answer is she was already in the image and likeness of God. But her identity was questioned. She questioned her identity. Every time we question our identity, we step out of who we've been designed to be. It's still one of man's greatest challenge in today. I shared something on my WhatsApp status, and one of my mentees actually reached out to me. So I'll say it here, and I think most of us are going to get the same reaction that she had. So I shared that we don't really have to try to be successful. We don't really have to try to be great. It sounded so like a lazy statement in a way. What do you mean we don't have to try to be successful? What do you mean we don't have to try to be great? Then I asked her a simple question. I said, she's a female. So I asked her, when you woke up today, I said, did you try to be a girl? Did you try to be a female? Did you pray fervently? Oh God, please make me more of a female. A female already. Oh, I want to be a female. We have Tega here. Tega will now wake up in the morning and Tega is praying. Oh God, I want to be more of a female. Make me a female. Female, female, female. No, she's already designed as a female. This is very important. She's already designed as a female. All what she has to do is to explore this feminine nature that's been given to her already and to see how to maximize it. That's all. It's useless her praying to be a female. We very important. We're talking about you can embrace your uniqueness and your potential for growth. You must understand that first of all. Some people have been asking about how do you overcome self-doubt, how do you overcome, you are a success already. Why are you a success? You are not just a product by chance. In medical science, they'll tell you, during intercourse, over 1 billion cells try getting into the woman's womb to fertilize into becoming an egg that becomes a child. Over 1 billion cells. From these billion cells, you came in at such a time as this. So what that shows is, of a truth, you've been designed for a unique purpose. If you don't have a purpose being here, you won't have been here. So the manufacturer was aware way before time that Tega was coming. The manufacturer was aware that Clara was coming. The manufacturer was aware that Mandona is coming. The manufacturer is aware that Divine was coming to this world. And no manufacturer produces a product and makes that product to be, what's the word, to malfunction, or makes that product not to be successful, because success is fulfilling purpose. So I use a Samsung device. The manufacturer of this Samsung device is going to be a camera phone. They ensured that this Samsung phone can do everything it was designed to do. You see, ensure it can do everything it was designed to do. Then it was let into the market. So in the same way, before you came in, you were tested. It was sure. It was known that you're going to be great and you're going to be successful. So you don't have to try to be successful. You don't have to try to be great. You explore this greatness in you and then you leave it out. All right. So we're going to give us opportunity to ask some questions. You can be dropping your questions, but I want to share some things, some practical ways you can actually use to get to identify your uniqueness and how you can express it. Some practical ways. Number one is your convictions. Your convictions. What are your convictions? Right? Have you had a moment of reflection? I was having a seminar with some teenagers, and then I told them something important. I said, most times you look for people that want to take us out. You look for people to take you on a date. I said, but what you want to do is you want to take yourself out on a date, buy yourself a cheap drink, and then sit down with yourself and then ask yourself some very, very important questions. So, keys to identifying your authentic self and potential and how you can embrace it. First of all, go through self-reflection. What moments make you feel most like yourself? What activities or tasks energizes and inspire you? What will you like to be celebrated for? And what are your innate traits that can make that happen? This is self-reflection now. So some years back, I was watching Dr. Samadi Yemi on TV. Why? While I was a teenager, or even before I became a teenager. And every Saturday morning, Success Power will come up on AIT, right? I always look forward to that program. I never knew then that maybe I was going to have a time to speak to people or coach people or train people. I never had those plans, but that was a natural inclination in me. So, what are your natural inclinations? What are those things you like? What are those things that bring fulfillment to you? I love teaching, I love training. So, maybe in my profile, my bio, the first thing is I'm a teacher and I'm a trainer. Beautiful. I like it. I embrace it. That's me. Do you understand? So, what brings you the most fulfillment? Where are you and what do you do that, just gets you into your spot zone? Self-reflection that can help you identify your authentic self. Number two, what feedback do you get from others? What do others compliment about you that is valuable, not nonsense things? David spoke about having quality people around you. Sometimes some people have some very negative people around them that they only compliment them for negative things, right? But what are the positive things people compliment about you? What do you do with the least or the most minute amount of effort and you still produces something spectacular out of it? I love researching. I love putting information together, and I love teaching and sharing this information to add value to the life of people. Very important. So two key ways you can use to identify your authentic self. First of all, we said you should do what? Self-reflect. Secondly, you should get feedback from others. Get feedback from others. What do you do that people compliment? Sometimes your strengths and potential are more clearly seen by others, not even yourself. You may not even be able to see how much you can do, but others can look into you and then they can see that potential in you and then they can mention it to you or give you opportunity to develop it. And that's why having a mentor becomes very important. So ask your trusted friends, ask family and friends, ask your colleagues, what do they believe are your unique talents, right? Very important. Then number two, you can do personality tests. We have platforms like mayabricks.com. We have 96personalities.com, where you can go and do a personality test, and then it just help you unravel some things about you, because self-knowledge is key. Self-awareness is key. Self-concept is key. From your self-concept, your self-awareness, develop your second personality. See? Okay, so yeah. All right. So number four, we've mentioned theory. Number four is you can have supernatural insights into your unique abilities, right? I was doing a research some months back, and then I came across the story of Buddha. He needed to have fulfillment for his life. And what did he secluded himself for a while? And then he said he needed to connect with the divine source. And in a moment, spent several times, spent several days, several hours, and all of a sudden there was this fulfillment, this connection he believed he had with the divine source, and that helped him pave his life, right? But I'm a Christian, and I get my own inspiration from the Word of God. So what has been written concerning you, what has been said concerning you, I don't believe what people say about me if it's not consistent with what has been written about me, right? So I've seen that I have a sound mind. I used to be a dull student, but I saw that I have a sound mind. I started developing myself. Today, you know, the rest is history, right? I saw that I've been given the spirit of boldness, not the spirit of fear. I used to be very timid. Today, people pay me to speak to people I don't know. I used to be very timid. Literally, I couldn't open a conversation. But I started developing myself in that light. And today, the rest is history, right? So, 4 key ways. We said, first of all, self-reflection. Secondly, get feedback from others. Thirdly, you can do a personality test. A caveat about personality test: your personality test is not to make you undermine your potential, to think maybe you can't do XYZ. No, it's to actually help you get to know yourself better so you can develop yourself. The number 4, supernatural insights. All right, yeah. So if you do these 4 things, it can give you some clear path into unraveling what is actually unique about you, and to see how you can start developing it further. So if you have questions, you can drop your questions. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, and waiting for the
Thank you so much, Dr. Barry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. This is such an amazing session. I'm very happy and excited that from what you are sharing, those of us watching and listening can just sit down and write steps. When I was putting out information for this event, somebody came to my inbox and was saying, "You are telling us that your speakers are going to share strategy. Do you know what strategy is about?" Somebody that I respect so much. I said, "Yes." I gave my explanation. Said, "Are you sure this is going to happen?" I said, "Just come in and see." And look at the experience we are having already. Look at the experience we are having already. It's mind blowing. Guys, please, with these things that are coming from our facilitators, put them down. See how you can apply them to your everyday life. Don't wait till next year. Next year is far. You know, we will begin to get intentional with our life most of the time when it's towards the end of the year. Next year is still very far. Start now. All of these things. Sit down, do the test that was mentioned, evaluate your life. All of these things, man. I don't want to interfere with the juice that has come. But I want to believe that you got real value. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Barry. Thank you so much. The thank you I'm saying is not going to do justice, but thank you. So, guys, okay, we're not getting any question, and we're going to go on a very quick break for a few minutes, less than 5 minutes break, so that you can stretch. Those of you that are sitting down, you've been sitting for but don't and go online, go and tell everybody that outside the boss conference is happening now. Share the link with them. You have points. Look at the amazing things the buyer have shared. Take some of them, go put them online. Take some of things Mr. David has shared with us. Go put them on your social media. Tag us. Have a 5 minute stretch, and we're going to come back for another dose of amazingness. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag already, but when we come back in less than 5, I don't want to start looking for us. In less than 5 minutes, we're going to be having another explosive session. Thank you so much, Dr. Barry. Can we celebrate our amazing speaker, Dr. Barry?
All right.
I want to see the comments. It seems like questions are not coming. But then there's some questions we did not answer in the first session. We're going to compile all of these questions, right? So, guys, even if your question is not completely formed yet, put them down, write them down, send it to us. Send it as the event keep going. Send it to us on WhatsApp. I'm going to personally ensure that all of our questions get answers between now and this Saturday, between now and tomorrow, and you get answers for all of your questions. That's what is most important for me, is the value you get from here. Thank you once again, Dr. Barry. I'm very grateful that you have done justice to that topic. Guys, let's go on a very short break, and I hope to see you in a bit.